Hey guys, it's me, Adam. As you can see, I just want to make this video so that you could see and hear some of the stories of the students' lives that have been affected here at Radford through Cru and what God's doing in their lives, and even some that have come to know the Lord this year, and just how your prayers and your support have enabled these students to just be a part of God's kingdom. So I really hope that when you hear these students, you'll remember their faces and you'll pray for them just as the video goes along. And just thank you for your prayers and your support, and I really hope that you enjoy hearing from the students' lives that you are affecting by allowing me to be on this campus. So here you go. Enjoy.
I see you, you're walking across the campus, cool professor studying romances.
God's been changing my life drastically this past year. He's been challenging me in many different ways. Been able to find out what my true heart is about and finding out more about myself. He's been pretty much turning about my heart and having a lost and broken and reaching out towards other people who are lost and broken. So he's definitely been changing my heart drastically for people to reach out towards them.
This year, God has done amazing things in my life. I've grown so much more this year alone than I have throughout the rest of my life with my walk with Christ. And a lot of that is a part of being in Cru and being with Adam. He's worked with me so much. He stood by my side through the bad times and the dark and the good. And it's just been awesome how God has placed me with these amazing people so that I can grow my walk with Him and be surrounded by all these other people who are doing the same thing. I've been able to make major changes in my life. It's been amazing. It's like indescribable how much different it's been this year.
The Lord has worked in my life this year in a lot of ways. He really reestablished friendships for me when I came back from a summer project with Cru, and I was kind of lost and was really missing that atmosphere, and he just really put people in my life that allowed me to come back and have a positive outlook on life and ministry and on what that can look like here at Radford. And I was able to just really make really awesome friendships and make them lasting and make them worthwhile.
How has God worked in my life this year? Well, my mom passed away in January 24th. So that was a big impact. I didn't know who to turn to. And just one day I picked up my Bible and I started reading verses, and it just kind of hit me that I needed Him. I needed Him in my life. I had to keep following Him. That's just how I knew that I needed Him. That's how He's worked through it. He's still working through it.
God has worked in my life by Adam approaching me and never really giving up. He found me and my few friends and came up to us and introduced us to Cru. And he was like, it's kind of like Young Life. We were familiar with that from back home. And he kept pursuing us, and at first I was like, oh, this is kind of weird how this guy who's like a lot older than me keeps talking to me. He's like, oh, come to Cru. And I was like, all right. And then one night I just kind of broke down and I went and talked to Adam, and he was like, oh, you know, man, like I'll talk to you about this. And I was like, all right. And we talked, and we were sitting on the benches, I think, for maybe 4 hours. And we sat on the benches till about 3 o'clock in the morning. And he just got really in touch with me, and he said, he kind of ended it with, you know, I think you finally accepted Christ, and all this time you thought you were a believer, but now you really are, and you've really devoted your life to Christ, and it's just overwhelmed me, and I was so happy that I finally had it, and it was all because of Adam, because he never gave up on me.
I guess God's worked in a ton of ways this year. Some were forcible, as in I wasn't willing to give up things, and He kind of put things in my path that almost made me give them up or get in trouble or something like that. And so things like that definitely affected how He's impacted me, but in a good way. So like I did get in trouble And but because of that, it was kind of like freeing, because I didn't have to hide anything anymore, and all my secrets were out, type of thing. And so I was just, because of that, able to give over like my whole life to God, which, I mean, I'll always be struggling with things, but definitely like ready to finally commit.
My relationship with God this year has changed radically. Like the end of my freshman year, I mean, like I was kind of trucking along, but like this year, my sophomore year, I've just like really dived into just serving and like loving people, and I love doing it. Like I love working with Crew, and I love working at my church. And I mean, he's just like taught me like how to be patient and how to love people that are hard to love, and how to serve, and just like he's taught me more about his character and more about his love, and like what it means to live in that, and like how to like walk with the Spirit, and just how to like live life with him daily, because like that's where it's at, just like living life daily, because not every day is going to be like a mountaintop experience. So he's just taught me to like love him every day.
I've grown in the aspect of I love like theology, and just reading like Calvin's writings and Luther's writings and stuff, and just seeing God in a whole new light. It just fall more in love with the Lord. I love God just sets times out in my day where I just go and I get to be with him in quiet, whether it's early in the morning or sometimes it's late at night. But he's just constantly setting time aside and calling me to dialogue with him or read scripture, and it's just like my heart's been so changed, the way I view people, and the way that I can see my own brokenness, and just how the Lord's kind of working through me and saying like, hey, like I started this, I'm going to be sure to finish this. I think this year has just been an awesome time of growth for me. It's been great.
The Crew community has affected me drastically. I've met so many great people in that community, especially my Bible study. I love all those dudes, and I love seeing the progress of going way back in the first semester, seeing like the transition of many dudes, and getting a lot closer towards them. So it's really cool to see them all come together and actually start to be all become better friends and hang out more. So it's been awesome.
The Crew community has helped me in my faith by just like really building me up constantly, and just having fellowship just surround me is just like it's really healthy in a Christian lifestyle, and it provides accountability. Like I have my best friend that I can talk to whenever I want, and it's just like knowing that people are there and that everyone cares about you, which is something that I personally haven't known much of my whole life, and it's incredible to see.
The Crew community has been, I think, all the difference in my walk with faith, because before I got here, I was alone basically in my walk. I had my parents, but you know, you can only relate to an older generation so much, and I think it's so important to have this group of people, like the community with Crew, in order to make sure that you're strong in your walk. And without it, if I would not have found Crew, I would probably have fallen into the typical college lifestyle, you know, totally turned away from God. I think it's been a major turning point and the major support for me in my walk.
Community has helped me grow this year by really loving me and teaching me grace. I was like really hard on myself and was really hard on other people in a lot of ways, and that really affected me in a lot of ways in my life. And because of the really positive atmosphere and the friendships and the weekly meetings and Bible studies, I was really able to reconnect when I came back after last summer and after winter break. And each time, like, everyone's just so encouraging and everyone's so willing to love you and just be there for you, like when you need them. You can walk anywhere on campus and see a Crew student and just know that you have a friend. So it's really awesome.
The Crew community has helped me grow my faith by just being surrounded by other believers. Not even other believers, but other people that are just there to be social with great people and people that are halfway with believing. It's just been awesome that I only had a few friends at first that were believers that went to Cru, and it was fun every now and then being like talking to them, be like, oh hey, like you going to Cru? And it was like, yeah. But then it got to the point where I started making so many more new friends, and I started going to Bible study, and it just those random people that I saw at Cru now became my family, and it's more than my Bible study now. It's well over 100 people, and they're just great to be around. They have great emotion, just always fun. They always want to do something fun. And every time Wednesday comes around, I just look forward to it, and I'm like, oh my God, like I can't wait to see all my friends. And they've really just helped me, and if I ever have questions or anything, they'll talk to me about it. And especially Bible study, that's really great when you see people that go to Cru at the Bible study when it's taken a little bit more seriously.
The Cru community has helped me in my faith. Well, it's kind of done both. At first, I was in the Cru community my freshman year, and my sophomore year I kind of fell away because I was idolizing people rather than looking to Jesus, and I fell away for a semester or two, and then Adam started talking to me and slowly brought me back, and we started a mentorship, a discipleship, and then I got brought back into the community and have just grown so much in my faith since then, so that's probably the biggest amount it's helped.
The Cru community has helped me through my faith by giving me like a sense of community. Legacy has really helped me find people that experience the same things that I do. We go through the same things and we all deal with the same things. So it's nice to have that community that loves you and supports you.
The Cru community has definitely helped me in my faith because what some people see as like, oh, they're just like always texting you and like annoying you, and if they catch you out at a party and you're drunk, like they'll find out, like if that happens. And at first it was an annoyance because that's the whole idea of like the nature of sin, is I was trying to just kind of keep it a secret. But after a while I started to realize, when my heart was in the right place, that it was just like looking out for me. And it says, like in the Bible, it talks about like when a sheep goes astray, like they all go looking for him, you know. So I don't know, it's been really cool that Cru, it's not condemning at all group of people. They just kind of are loving, and what you'll see is if you're hiding something, you're gonna get frustrated with it. But if you're really seeking the Lord, like it was awesome to see that these are people who, hypothetically, they did find out I was doing something bad. They never yelled at me or anything like that. It was more of like why do you feel like you need to do this, and then just kind of helping me through it instead of condemning me and just like yelling at me, which is what the world would do, you know. So
Cru community has helped me completely radically in my faith, and it's been an awesome, crazy, ridiculous journey. It's really difficult for me to be vulnerable with people and allow myself to be loved by people, but allowing them to love me has just made it an awesome experience. I mean, God like shows his love for me through these people, and I wouldn't be able to experience that without this community around me. And it's just amazing to have people to go to and talk to and be like, I'm struggling with this. Like, I'm not perfect. Like, I struggle with things, and they'll be like, that's okay. Like, let's talk about it in Starbucks. It's fantastic. It's been amazing.
Thank you for taking time to watch this video and hearing about students' lives that have been affected by God, and even just the community of Cru on this campus. We are praying as Cru staff that these students would wake up and hear about the gospel, that they would experience Christ in a different way. We're praying that Radford would wake up to live for the returning King. We do believe that God is returning, that Christ is returning for his people, and we're excited to be a part of that here at Radford. As the students' lives are being affected, they're able to go out and share with other people. Many of these students in our movement this year have accepted Christ. They became believers. They've had their name wrote in the book of life. And it's really awesome and humbling to be a part of that. And you guys are making it happen by your prayers, your support, and I can't thank you enough. And I pray that this video has been a blessing to you, because being out here on the campus in the front lines, I'm able to be a part and see these students every day and interact with them and pray for them. And I wanted you to be blessed by this opportunity to almost face to face hear from them and what God is doing and how God has even used me to be on this campus. And it's humbling, and I'm really thankful that you would just be a part of that. I just thank you again. And I pray that God is richly blessing you, and God is blessing just your family and life, and how He is orchestrating all things for His glory, even here at Radford University. And I pray that if you come in town, that you'll be able to meet these students and have dinner with them and love them the way that Christ is loving them on His campus and using them. So thank you so much. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how these students' testimonies have really reached your heart and showed you what you were doing through your prayers. So thank you.